M0FXB Hamtech, welcome back to the channel. Retivis RT95 or Anytone 778 separation kit made by Hayden, actually in Australia, but posted to the UK in about, it wasn't long, a couple of weeks, and it was here about $25. And there's an eBay link and an Amazon link as well. I'll put them in the description. And you've got two ways of this connecting. One is where you connect from the front, and one you can connect from the back. And there's one from the front there. Sort of front facing and rear facing. When you get it, you do get a code for full video instructions, but this is just me. I bought it and I'm just going to fit it. And these are the parts that you've got in this bag here. A couple of connectors and ribbon cables, a couple of bolts. You've got one part that will in the end connect to the front head unit, so this will be the separate part. So my connector is going to be poking through, you know, from, I would say, from there, and that'll be going into the radio. And then you've got the other part, because once you took the head unit off the radio, yeah, as you can see, you're left with this open hole, and that's what this is going to fill. So it's going to be a bit fiddly, but let's just get on and do it. First thing we'll do is just take the bracket off, the mounting bracket, and turn the device. Once we've taken the first two screws out, we'll turn the device upside down. Well, we'll just lift that out of the way. Now I'll take these two screws off. Torque 9 it is, torque 9. Okay, try not to lose the screws. And then turn it over. Now, this isn't the recommended way to do it, this is the me way of doing it. So we're going to take these 4 screws out. I'll leave one in because remember that once you take them out, the head unit is going to become very loose. And you don't want to break the ribbon cable, because you might want to put this all back as one complete unit again one day. So that's those 4 off. Get some good light on this, and then I'll just lift that off. That one comes off easy, but there is a speaker. Now you can see the ribbon cable. Now the way the ribbon cable comes off on this section, because the cables that Hayden provides, they do come off, they sort of flip over, where this one sort of pulls up. If I go like so, zoom right in, and just gently just pull up. See that? And I don't pull too hard, and then that will lift out. And now our head unit effectively should just lift away. Now you do have to wiggle it a bit. I think I'll just pull the speaker off. Let's just show you the speaker, because I just rather it just wasn't in the way. It's quite a straightforward speaker connector. There you go. So that's off. Just the only thing I would say when pulling that speaker off is don't knock this item, yeah. But anyway, my speaker is off. You don't have to worry about that rattling around and getting in the way. We've also disconnected that, so in theory there's nothing holding this to the front. Once we've just check on the other side. We've got the 4 screws off. See the way it's starting to lift? Okay. Now there are 2 clips that sort of hold it in place underneath. So you sort of got, let me just do this. Let me have a closer look. Well, I found that if I just wiggled it a bit, it just lifted away. So what we're effectively doing is sealing off the back end, but we're adding a connector to this ribbon here that we just took out. And we're removing that ribbon, and then the new ribbon that we've been provided by the kit is going to connect to the connectors that we need. So let's just move that, and then we'll just zoom in on this bit here. Just going to pull it very carefully, and look, the ribbon has come out. Now I'm going to keep that ribbon. I'll probably put it in a piece of plastic, because there are, you know, parts that are conductive, and then just leave it in the lid. But I'll, you know, like I said, I'll put it in plastic first, so that we can't lose that. So there you go. That's our head unit. Let's prepare the unit that's going to connect to this first. So we just get everything out of the box here and put it onto my table. We've got a nice long cable as well. You can get different lengths when you order. So when this is installed, it'll go, see the little noggles there at the bottom? It's all 3D printed. You just go like so, and it'll push into place with the screws going back in. But then the connector on this one is, I did it so that the front looked nice and flush. That's what I chose, and then my connector is going to stick out the back. You can put 2 bolts through there that are in the kit. I don't think I'm going to use the bolts, but the idea is to connect those bolts to something. I'm just going to use double-sided, Velcro. So in the kit here, pour it all out. We've got screws and things, 2 ribbons. The ribbons look identical to me. I would say they look identical, don't they? Pretty sure they are. But the connectors are different, because one will fit, and you can tell which is which because when you line them up, so let's say this one here, and it's going to face downwards like so. When you put it on there, see that? The screw holes line up. See the 2 holes? So you know which goes on which. Okay, but first of all, let's get the ribbon cable in there. The way that the ribbon cables go on these are they lift up, just very carefully. They lift up, and don't force them because you don't want them to come away. See that? It's lifted up, and you grab the cable and slide that in and clip it down. So let's get the first one, and it's the blue facing upwards. Just going to slide it in there carefully and then clip it down. Now you want it to feel solid and be straight. That feels okay to me actually. Okay, but you know, if you're not sure, just unclip it. Just hold it in place and push it down. And we'll do the other one while we're here. Again, clip it up. Hold it in place. And then it does go in a bit and then down. See, that's a bit of an angle there, so we'll just open it again. And go like so. Yeah, that felt like it was more in than the other one, to be honest. Just going to double check the other one. Just make sure. Yeah, maybe that went in a bit more. But we'll know if there's a problem because it won't connect, and then we'll have to just do it again. But that's okay, you know. We'll keep trying until we get it right. And I'll use one of these bags to keep the old ribbon in. I'll put that. I'm pretty sure that won't affect the radio. If that's just in the radio, will it? Maybe I'll make it smaller. But anyway, so let's grab my back unit. And so this one here is the shorter one. Push it on, make sure it's nice and flush in there. See it poking through. And then we'll grab the 2 screws provided. Well, there should be 4 actually. And just screw down that. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to do it tight, just to hold it in place. That's one end done. Try not to slip because you don't want to break these traces here. So. Right, that one's done. Let's grab the other one. We're going to go like so. Does it go that way? Looks like we might have to go. Do we go through from the end side? Let's try it. Don't worry, we'll get it. Right, it goes that way around. I did find it quite a tight fit, but just remember that this writing is this FDC10, and you've got the connector facing you, and then look at the connector is at the top here. It's facing that way. You push it through until you can see the screw holes, and then you can put your 2 screws in. So I was a bit worried about breaking it. Just don't squash it and squeeze it too much, and then just get those screws in there. Like I said, I'm not doing them tight, and you'll see that it is really protruding from the other side. I'll show you in a sec. Right, so hopefully that's that prepared. You've got your ribbon there. And then you've got the other one all prepared, screws in. I did find that screw did keep turning, but it still seems fine. And the way it's protruding now is like that, but it's solid, you know, it's not going anywhere. It's at this point, if you want to put the bolts through for mounting, that you can put them through and put them in a way where they're not going to touch the circuit board. But the holes are there, so if you want to put them in, these bolts and nuts, then now's your chance. Okay, so as you can see, it literally just sits on there very easily as well. You've got the top end up, and it literally just go from the front so you can see. So you got these there, and then like so, and it just slips over like that. Okay, nice neat job. And then what you've got to do now is, it might be easier if you take it off and do it first, but you just slide it in there and push that back down. So we're just gonna, you want the blue side facing away from you. I don't want my fingers to get in the way when I'm doing this. Like so, and then push it down so it holds. Make sure it's up first. Push it in. And then push down. You'll know when it's holding, because it'll feel stiff, but don't push too hard, and be careful of the components around it. So I'm a bit scared of this myself. And then push that down. So this is what we've ended up with. You've got your ribbon. And so effectively we're connecting this connector to that unit there. So now this unit has to do exactly the same thing, and just getting it the right way round so it makes a connection. So I would say it's that way round. So blue, so annoying that it keeps focusing like that. Let me just try and freeze it. So what we're going to do, sorry about that pause, we've got it in, we've got the blue part facing away from us, okay, pushed it down just like on the main board, and that could go on there, but I'm going to, before I put it all back together, I'm going to test it. I'm going to put my lead between here and here, which is the separation, fire up some power and just see if the head unit comes on. I mean, it only goes on one way, the lead. It's got a little nodule there to make sure that you can only plug it in the correct way. See the little nodule sticking up? Just put that in. Okay. It's quite stiff getting that to go in, but it has gone in. But that was quite stiff doing that. And same goes for the other one. I did have to push quite hard, so just take it easy there. It just clips in. So that's connected. Okay, so power on, and then hold down. You can see, I'm not recommending you do this, but look, that's completely working fine, okay? That's what it looks like from behind. Working fine. Just go easy with those ribbons. Don't take risks like me. Let's get it all together now. Okay, so it's recommended that you twist it a couple of times, apparently, before it goes together. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. I just think it's in there. So I'm just going to put the noggles like so. You're trying to not catch the cable. And get it the right way round as well. That always helps. And there you go. Looks like that clips in there. Let's get a couple of screws in there. Of course, disconnect any power. Okay, there's one screw in. Yeah, seems fine. And we'll get the other one in. Well, it's pretty cool that this is done, really, because ultimately it's not sold as a unit where the head unit can be separated, is it? So the screws do go in a little bit wonky because of it's a 3D print type hole. If you ever used them before. Right, that's the front end on. Already tangled it all up here. Just put the power back on. I'll try my microphone in there as well, and then I'll put the lid on the rest of it. This is the other thing, don't forget, when you separate the head unit, you're effectively separating the microphone as well, which is really good. Because if you're in the car, the microphone's working fine. Look, I've got no antenna on there at the moment, but we will have. But look, it's all lit up, the microphone. I mean, that is pretty cool that we're now able to do that thanks to this kit. Try not to break it. So I get my Velcro on here. I mean, you can see it's not a waterproof design. You can add sealant, I suppose, if you really wanted to. So, yeah, going well so far. Right, let's get our speaker connected back. So it just popped into there. Now, like I said, just be really careful not to catch this little this black, a big capacitor there. That's the main thing to be careful of. Speaker's back on. Like, you didn't really have to take the speaker off, but I did. And so then put your 4 screws back in. Torque 9, remember. We'll get an antenna on here as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And the head unit is on. You can hear it beeping away. Let's get an antenna on there. See if we can get have a contact. I'll also put on my mobile bracket right as well while I'm here. I think it's a really good value myself. I think $25 and you get this. Effectively, you could get a much shorter cable if you really wanted to. very short, and put some, I don't know, create some sort of, because this is plastic, you can screw to this, and then create a way of just being able to mount this just onto the front of the radio without having to disassemble the whole kit. I think that would be a clever idea. If we had a couple of things here sticking out, and then, yeah, they'd have to be probably, I don't know, an inch long, which I could make myself. And then whenever I feel like it, I can put it on the, I can mount it on the front of this device. So it's a VHF UHF set, and I tend to use it with my local repeaters and my All-Star node.
I come down there quite often. We have a depot in Dudley. I won't mention any names, but it's on a big roundabout in Dudley.
It's on my node.
You'll see shed 1, shed 2 and shed 3. If you ever go down there, you'll know where they are. I usually go there twice a week.
There's quite an amount of people wandering around. Doesn't seem too bad for me because I'm talking into a phone HA, so they won't think I'm a total
Right, so function,
so, that's the story here.
power, low.
Anytone with me. I just brought the Anytone over to the MO rig, and
All your buttons, everything's working fine. It's quite, I would call through, but it's quite busy. The microphone's still working fine.
The telephone here.
We've got a completely portable unit now. I'll get my Velcro. And I suppose I can see how the bolts, if you bolt through, you could screw to something there. There's room there to put in some washers, but it's going to fit on my shack very nice. I can see how if I didn't have the rear facing one, then maybe that the whole back would have been flat. Now I've got the plug sticking out, I get that. Just different options, different things to consider. So thanks to Hayden, thanks for watching my channel. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and yeah, I think it's really good value and working great. Bye for now, 7-3.